So if we're talking about this channel, like real talk, I owe you some honesty before we do anything else. Because if this is your first time here, you're going to see over 100 videos and think, okay, this guy has been around. And if you've been here before, you know it's been all over the place. Either way, before we jump into content like nothing happened, I want to actually talk about where this started, where it went wrong, and why I'm back doing it differently. Because I think the story is worth telling. And I think a lot of you are going to relate more of it than you expect. This is 12 years of failing at content creation and what I finally learned from it. Let me take you all the way back to the beginning, and I mean the actual beginning, 2013. I was 13 years old, and like basically every other 13-year-old with a device and a Minecraft account, I started a YouTube channel. The name was Sky Does MCPE000. And if you know anything about early Minecraft YouTube, you already know exactly the energy. Sky was one of the biggest Minecraft creators of all at the time, and every kid with a channel was either copying him or trying to be the next version of him, and I was no different. And look, I'm not embarrassed by that. This is just what 13-year-olds do. You find something you love, you find somebody doing it online, and you think, I want to do that too. And that's actually how a lot of legitimate creative careers start. The embarrassing part isn't that I started there. The embarrassing part is what happened over the next 12 years. Because I never really stopped trying. And I never really figured it out either. And that combination is its own specific kind of frustration. So the channel went through a lot of phases. Sky Does MCPE eventually became Tech by Drew back in 2020 when I got more serious about the tech side of things. Gadgets, tech news, how-tos, and that kind of content. And if you scroll back through what's on here, you'll see over 100 videos. Like, I wasn't absent, I was showing up, but if you actually look at what's there, it's kind of all over the place. Minecraft videos, strongman workout content, gaming history, tech reviews, random stuff that doesn't really connect to anything. And that's the real problem. It wasn't that I wasn't trying, it's that I was trying 100 different things without ever committing to one. Volume without direction isn't consistency, it's just noise. And I kept doing that cycle for years. Get motivated, make some videos, lose the thread, disappear for a while, and come back with a new idea, repeat over and over again. 100 videos and no real channel identity to show for it. So let me break down what I actually think went wrong, because I don't want this to be just a story. I want this to be useful to you. The first problem was that I had no idea what I was making or who it was for. Like, I would have had this burst of motivation and just start. No real plan, no defined audience, no through line. And that's great to get action down. But when it comes to creating content, you need a common thread. It was just me and a camera and a vague sense that I had something to say. And sometimes those videos would get made and sometimes they wouldn't. But either way, they didn't go anywhere because there was nothing really connecting them. No reason for somebody to watch one and then come back for another. A channel isn't just a place where you put videos about things you like. It's a promise to an audience. It's saying, this is what you're going to get here, this is who it's for, and this is why you should subscribe. And if you can't make that promise clearly and consistently, people have no reason to follow you. They might watch one video and enjoy it, but they won't come back because they don't know what they're coming back to. And I didn't have that. And so I kept starting over. New format, new focus, new burst of motivation, and same results. Had to drink some water there. The second problem was that I was chasing what I thought content was supposed to look like instead of what felt natural. And this is one is sneaky because it doesn't feel like it's a mistake when you're doing it, but it feels like research, it feels like being smart, like You look at what's working for other people, you study the formats, you try to replicate the energy and the style and the structure, and you tell yourself you're learning from the best. But what you're actually doing is building something that isn't yours. Your audience can feel that. Like, there's a difference between watching somebody who is genuinely in their element talking about something that they actually care about and actually know, and watching somebody perform a version of what they think a content creator is supposed to look like. And the second one never quite lands no matter how good the production is. I did this constantly. I'd see a format that was working, I try to force my content into it, feel like something was off the entire time I was making it, and then not be surprised when it didn't connect. Because it didn't feel like me. And if it doesn't feel like you, then it's not going to feel like you to anybody watching it either. The third problem, and this is the big one, was consistency, or more specifically, the complete lack of it. Here's my pattern for 12 years. Something happens that reignites the motivation. Maybe I watch a creator I really respect and think I can do that too. Maybe I have a season with more free time. Maybe I just got tired of sitting on the sidelines and decide this is the time I'm actually going to do it for real. So I make a video and it feels good. And then make another one and that feels good too. And then life happens, work gets busy, something comes up, and the motivation dips. I don't see the numbers I was hoping for, and I just stop. And then weeks go by, and then months, then I've disappeared again and started over. Feels harder than it did before, because now there's the guilt of having quit again, sitting on top of everything else. And I did this cycle more times than I want to admit. Like, genuinely embarrassing the number of times. Same pattern, same result. And the thing I finally had to be honest with myself about is that the motivation is not a strategy. Like, motivation feels amazing when it's there, but it comes and goes. It's not reliable. You cannot build something sustainable on a feeling that shows up randomly and disappears without warning. What actually builds a channel, what actually builds anything, is showing up when you don't feel like it. Having a system that doesn't require you to be inspired to execute. Making the next video not because you're fired up, but because that's just what you want to do now. That's the thing I've never had, and that's the thing I'm committed to having this time. So, what changed? Honestly, a few things hit at the same time. I went through a season that forced me to do a lot of reflecting. Job stuff, life stuff, and the kind of thing that makes you stop and actually ask yourself, what are you doing and why are you doing it? And one of the things that kept coming back to me was this channel. And another channel I run called Making of Men, which, if you're into faith, mental health, marriage, men figuring out who they are, go check that out. I'll link it below. Uh, both of these channels kept showing up in my head. And as things I had started and not finished. Things I said mattered to me and then walked away from. And I got tired of that. Like, genuinely tired of having things that I said I was going to do and I didn't do. Not because I couldn't, but because I kept waiting for the perfect conditions that were never going to come. The perfect setup isn't coming. The perfect time isn't coming. The moment when everything lines up and the motivation is there and the algorithm cooperates, yeah, that's just not a real thing. There's only right now and whether you're doing the work or you're not. So I'm choosing to do the work. I also finally figured out what this channel is actually supposed to be. And that sounds simple, but it took me an embarrassingly long time to land it. Take by Drew is a gaming channel. That's the lane. I love gaming. I have opinions about gaming. I've been gaming my whole life, and I have things to say about them. And here's the part that made me laugh when I kind of realized it. I started the whole journey making Minecraft videos as a 13-year-old kid. And the format that I'm coming back to in 2026 is Minecraft gameplay footage, under a voiceover talking about gaming, tech, or whatever is on my mind that week. It's kind of a full circle moment. 12 years later, and I'm back to the blocks. Apparently, that's where this was always supposed to go. The difference is this time I now know what the show is. Gaming opinions, industry stuff, things that frustrate me, things I love, honest takes with no filter, and gameplay underneath with real conversation on top. That's it. That's the promise. No more random content that just doesn't fit. No more chasing formats that aren't mine. Just gaming, my actual voice, and consistency. Here's what I want to leave you with, because I think this applies more than just YouTube. 12 years is a long time to fail at something. And I could frame that as embarrassing, and honestly, part of me does. But the other way to look at it is that 12 years of failing at something means 12 years of caring about it. You don't keep coming back to something you don't actually want. You don't feel the guilt of quitting something that doesn't matter to you. If it's in something that's in God's plan, He's not going to let you forget about it. The fact that I'm still here, still trying, still believing that this is worth doing after all that, that's not stupidity. That's just knowing the thing is real, even when the execution has been off. And if you're watching this and you've got your own version of this, something you started and stopped and started again, something you believe in that hasn't worked yet, real talk, don't let the failed attempts become the reason you don't try again. Let them be the education. Let them be the education, because every time I quit and came back, I came back knowing something I didn't know before. And this time I'm coming back knowing enough to actually do it differently. Alright, that's the honest version of where I'm starting from. That's the origin story, the failures, and the reset. Now, let's actually make something worth watching.